Okay, so I want to get this out there. I'm going to try and make it as fast as possible. This happened a few days ago. You started it. Russia claims its fighter jets only buzzed U.S. Navy warship because it was in proximity of nearby Baltic bays. It's just things are getting dicey, but things have been getting dicey for a while. And so we're going to go back to why. Let's go to the beginning. Okay, first we have to go back to 2010. And this was when the election between Yanukovych and Timoshenko was won by Viktor Yanukovych. And what we want to go look at here is the map. Because if you see on the map here, here's Yanukovych and Timoshenko. And as you can see over here in eastern Ukraine, it's very heavily for Yanukovych. Now remember that Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union. Boris Yeltsin was Ukrainian. And here's Crimea. So here in Crimea, we have over 90% in these regions in eastern Ukraine, the native language spoken is Russian. So in all of these areas, there's just a very strong Russian identity with the people because it's really important historically. Because again, way back over 1,000 years ago, Vladimir the Great proceeded to baptize his family and people in Kiev. It was referred to as the baptism of Russia. So again, it's so important in Russia's history and the Russian people. And then we'll flash forward here to 2014 Ukrainian Revolution, where it was known as the Maidan Protests, and it was reported as an organic movement by the people. But is that the truth? Here, this is back from April of 2014. It's not Russia that's pushed Ukraine to the brink of war. And we're going to scroll down here. America's with you, Senator John McCain told demonstrators standing shoulder to shoulder with the leader of the far-right Svoboda Party as the U.S. ambassador haggled with the State Department over who would make up the new Ukrainian government. And then when we jump over here, we see CFR, which is the Council on Foreign Relations, handprints everywhere on Euromaidan. And then as we scroll down here, we see the U.S. via Victoria Nuland, who was running point for the Obama administration. And they were clearly attempting to play the kingmaker, determining who should or should not rise in the new Ukrainian government. They believed themselves the puppet masters and the Ukrainian politicians their sock puppets. And then we continue down here where she gave a speech and boasted after returning from Kiev that the U.S., had invested more than $5 billion in the Ukraine over the past couple decades to promote democratic institutions and a good form of government. So then over here, brokering power, U.S. role in Ukraine coup, hard to overlook. We come down here and some of that $5 billion went into sponsoring various NGOs, political parties, and media outlets. And then here, Washington was behind Ukraine coup. Obama admits that U.S. brokered a deal in support of regime change. So again, it's pretty clear through this evidence so far that we were involved in this, and it seems incredibly arrogant, meddlesome, and dangerous. So moving over here, and this is what I'm talking about. It's starting to get dicey. I'm taking you somewhere on this little journey. Bear with me. Military buildup on Russia's doorstep. U.S. increasing troop strength in Europe. Pentagon and NATO threaten Russia. So now we're going to go on a bit of a headline run. Deter Russian aggression. U.S. and NATO in full Cold War mode. Ratcheting tensions. Obama orders huge weapons increase along EU-Russian border. NATO is planning its largest military buildup in Eastern Europe since the Cold War. Are you sensing a little bit of a pattern here? Eastern Europe cautiously welcomes larger U.S. military presence. Pentagon recites Russian aggression to justify missile defense expansion budget. Top Navy official, Russian sub-activity expands to Cold War level. Then here, this was April 15th, Russia calls NATO's buildup in Europe absolutely unjustified. Over to here, China says Russia humiliated the arrogant U.S. with the simulated attack on the warship. Russia jets make simulated attack on U.S. warship in aggressive Baltic incident. Coming down here, the Baltic is the focus of this campaign. Last year, NATO jets were scrambled to intercept Russian warplanes in the Baltic region on 160 occasions, compared with 140 in 2014. So as you can see, it's been getting progressively worse. So then we look at this map here of the U.S. and NATO and the positioning that we have taken up around Russia and China. And, you know, aggression is in the eye of the beholder. My point is, I don't want World War III. I'm tired of war. It's been since I was born. And I hope this just makes you go, that's interesting.